Now we do economic applications of integration from Sylvester and Hammond. So we will take an example of extraction from an oil well. Assume that at time t equals to 0, we start extracting oil from a well that contains k barrels of oil. Okay. Let xt denotes the amount of oil in barrels that is left at time t. So that means x0 should be equal to k. That means the amount of oil that is left at t equals to 0 at the beginning is k. So this is the initial stock k. Okay. So if we assume that we cannot pump oil back into the well, then xt is a decreasing function of t, because as time increases, the amount of oil left inside the tank will decrease definitely. Okay. So suppose you move from the initial time to the final time t plus delta t. What is delta t? Delta is the change in time. Okay. So what is change, change in the stock? So what is x dot t? X dot t means d by dt of xt. So what is d by dt of xt? D by dt of xt is nothing but the rate of change of xt with respect to time. So what is the rate of change? So you should have x at time t plus delta t. Okay. And this is the final time minus uh, xt. And what is the change in time? Delta t. Okay. Now your this is x plus delta t minus xt divided by t. This is my change. Okay. Because the amount left after t plus delta t minus the amount left after t is the change in the quantity divided by delta t, and limit delta t will be going to 0, because that is the definition of derivative. So if you want to define derivative of function at a, it will be limit h tending to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x upon uh, h. So here x is a. Okay. So a plus h minus a upon h. So similarly over here the rate of change is x dot t is equal to this particular limit. Okay. Now what is this particular uh, this rate of change? So this x dot t is nothing but you can define this particular thing as, now you can see that xt plus delta t is the amount of oil left after the time t plus delta t, and xt is the oil left after time t. So therefore this particular term will be negative. Why this will be negative? This will be negative because with time it is decreasing. Okay. So this is the rate of extraction at time t. So we can write x dot t is equal to minus ut. Okay. So x dot t is minus ut. All right. So now this is our equation. So when you integrate both sides with respect to x, so what have we obtained? We have obtained x dot t is equal to minus ut. So the rate of change of oil extraction at time t is equal to if negative of a function ut. And what is your ut? Ut was this xt plus delta t minus xt upon delta t. Why do we have a negative sign? Because it is decreasing with time. Okay. So what is happening? So when, and we know the initial condition that x at 0 will be equal to k. So now when x x dot t, so when we integrate both sides with respect to t, so you will get minus ut dt. So when you integrate, okay, this x dot, and we will be getting a constant c. So when we integrate this, you will get xt, and this will be minus ut dt plus c. Now put t equals to 0. Okay. And xt, so the integration will be from time 0 to t. because initial time is 0, final time is t. So x at 0 will be equal to minus 0 to 0 ut dt plus c. X at 0 is k. When you integrate with the same initial limit and final limit, the answer is 0 plus c. So c will be equal to k. So the amount of oil left at time t is equal to k minus 0 to t ut dt. Okay. So this is your integral equation finally. That is how you find. Then what comes next? So, but this ut is also a time of t. Always remember, function of t. So now in the next case, what happens? Happens if the this rate is a constant? What happens if this comes out to be a constant? And that constant is u bar. So then your xt will turn out to be k minus 0 to t u bar dt. So xt will be equal to k u bar. So u bar is a constant, it will come out. And when you integrate from 0 to t, so integration of 1 is t, and then you integrate from 0 to t. So xt will be equal to k minus u bar into t. So this is the expression for the amount of oil left at time t, that is equal to k, that is the initial amount, minus the average rate of extraction per unit of time into the time taken. Okay. So when is the well empty? So empty well means xt is equal to 0. Okay. The amount of oil should be 0. That means k minus u bar t is equal to 0. So when time is equal to k upon u bar, k is the initial amount of oil, u bar is the average rate of extraction per unit of time, then at this particular time, the oil will be empty. That is what it is trying to say. Okay. Now, the next topic is currency, a country's foreign exchange reserves. Let FT denote a country's foreign exchange reserves at time t. Assuming that F is differentiable, the rate of change in the foreign exchange reserves per unit of time will be. So define the derivative of ft, the rate of change. So df by dt, we are defining as small ft. Okay. If ft is positive, this means that there is a net flow of foreign exchange into the country. Because if the foreign exchange are increasing with respect to time, what is ft? Ft is the rate of change. What is rate of change? Final value minus initial value divided by time. Now, if this is positive, it means that the final value is greater than the initial value. It means something is coming to our economy. Okay. If FT is negative, it means that the foreign exchange is flowing out. From the definition of the definite integral, so now we have F dash T is equal to FT. Okay. And now suppose I am going from the time T naught to T. So this is my initial time and this is my final time. So as per fundamental theorem of integral calculus, when we integrate f dash t, okay, and from t naught to t, and this is ft from t naught to t. So the integration of f dash t will be ft, final limit is t naught, initial limit is t naught, final is t. This is t naught to t ft. So ft minus ft naught is equal to t naught to t ft dt. So here they have taken t1 instead of t, that is perfectly fine. So that is how we calculate a country's foreign exchange reserves. All right. Next, income distribution. So in many countries, anonymous data from income tax authorities can be used to reveal some properties of the income distribution within a given year, as well as how the distribution changes from year to year. Okay. So we measure income in dollars and let FR denote the proportion of individuals, let FR denote the proportion of individuals who receive more than R dollars. Okay. Thus, if there are n individuals in the population, NFR is the number of individuals with income no greater than R. Okay. So R naught is the lowest and R1 is the highest income in the group. We are interested in the function f in the interval R naught R1. So FR is proportion of individuals who receive no more than R dollars. Okay. So if there are n individuals in the population, then NFR is the number of individuals with income no greater than R because the ratio is FR. So NFR divided by N will give me FR. Okay. So total population. So FR is nothing but number of individuals earning no more than R dollars. That means less than or equal to R divided by total population. So if the total population is N and if I want my proportion to be FR, so therefore the number of people who earn no more than R dollars should be N into FR. That is what it is trying to say. Okay. So we are interested in the function f in the interval R naught R1. Okay. So R naught is the lowest income and R1 is the highest income. So obviously we want to know that what is the proportion of people who are earning no more than R dollars in the interval R naught R1. Okay. Okay. Because R has to be a multiple of $0.01 and FR has to be a multiple of 1 by N. However, if the population consists of a large number of individuals, then it is usually possible to find a smooth function that gives a good approximation to the true income distribution. So assume that f is a function with continuous derivative. So see, you are able to differentiate and integrate because you are given differentiable functions and continuous functions. So we are able to integrate because we know that differentiable functions are integrable and we are applying fundamental theorem of calculus. So again, I am assuming that the rate of change of FR, that is F dash R, okay, this is equal to small fr and where R belongs to R naught R1. Okay. So according to the definition of derivative, so what happens? So we know what is the definition of derivative. So f dash r, okay, should be equal to f r plus delta r minus fr divided by delta r. This is the definition as delta r goes to infinity, delta r goes to 0. So this is the definition of f dash r. So you can also write that f dash r is approximately equal to fr plus delta r minus fr upon delta r because delta r is going to 0. So we can assume that, this is approximately equal to this. We can remove this sign, delta r tending to 0. So f dash r delta r is, you know, uh, fr plus delta r minus fr. Now what is f dash r? Small fr. Small fr delta r is approximately equal to capital F r plus delta r minus capital F r. Okay? This is happening for small r. Thus, fr delta r is approximately equal to the proportion of individuals who earn between r and r plus delta r. Okay, so fr plus delta r is the proportion of people who earn no more than r plus delta r, and capital Fr is the proportion of people who earn no more than r. Okay, so the function f is called income density function. Okay, and f is associated with cumulative distribution function. Suppose that f is a continuous income distribution for a certain population with incomes in this interval. Okay. And if A and B are any two values between R0 and R1, then the previous discussion and the definition of the definite integral apply that A to B FRDR. So basically what is happening, this is my FR. So FR into DR is the difference in the proportion of people who are earning no more than R plus delta R and no more than R. So if I integrate A to B FR, okay, so I am going to get this particular proportion. I am integrating it with DR, okay. And if I multiply this with N, okay, I am going to get the number of individuals with income in the interval AB. Now, this is very important. Again, look at FR into delta R. FR into delta R is the difference in the proportion of people earning no more than R plus delta R and no more than income R. Okay, so when I integrate it from interval A to B, my income comes in the range A to B. So my income is between A dollars to B dollars. Okay, that is proportion. Now, when I multiply that proportion by N, I will get the total number of individuals with incomes in the interval AB. Okay, now we will now find an expression for the combined income of those who earn between A and B dollars. Let MR denote the total income of those who earn no more than R dollars and consider the income interval R plus R comma R plus delta R. There are approximately NFR delta R individuals with income in this interval because of this definition. Okay, each of them has an income approximately equal to R. So the total income of those individuals is approximately equal to NFR delta R. So again, MR denote the total income of those who earn no more than R dollars. So MR, total income of all the people who are earning no more than R dollars. Okay. So what is, so basically, then if I now just look at your FR into delta R, what was it? Please go above. So FR delta R is approximately equal to the proportion of individuals who earn between R and R plus delta R. That is what it is trying to say. So when I, so these number of people, so when I multiply this with N, when I multiply this with N, you see NFR delta R, they are the individuals with incomes in this interval. Okay, because no more than R dollars means the difference between R and delta R is very, very small. Now, each of them has an income approximately equal to R. Why? Because delta R is very small. So that the total income of these individuals, MR plus delta R minus MR, is approximately equal to NFR delta R. Okay. So we have MR plus delta R minus MR upon delta R is equal to NRFR. Okay. So we are multiplying this with NRFR. Okay. So this is what we get. Then the approximation improves in general as delta R decreases and by taking the limit as delta R goes to infinity. So as delta R goes to infinity over here, not infinity, delta R. So as limit delta R goes to 0, this particular thing, this expression is nothing but the derivative of R, M dash R. So M dash R is directly approximately equal to NRFR. And therefore, when I integrate M dash R, okay, with respect to R, it will be integration NRFR with respect to R. Now, integration of MR is M dash R is MR, and comes out A to B R F R D R. So what is N A to B R F R D R? The total income of individuals with incomes in the interval. So this is nothing but the expression MR. MR is the total income of individuals earning less than or equal to R dollars. No more than R dollars means less than or equal to R dollars. Okay, all right. So now the argument that leads to 10.28 can be made more exact. So basically we have just integrated, okay? And M dash R is NR FR. So the ratio between the total income and the number of individuals belonging to a certain income is called the mean income. So what is mean income? Mean income was total income of the individuals. Total income of the individual came out to be this, we just saw. And income of the individual, mean income of the individual, that was this. We already did this. Okay, so let's scroll above to see. So this is very important. Mean income of the individuals. You can be asked to calculate this. So this is the total income of the individuals with the intervals AB. And before that, we had integrated. Yeah. And this is the number of individuals in the interval. So if you remove N, so A to B FRDR is the mean income. Okay. Hmm. So mean income of the individuals is mean income of the individuals is the ratio between the total income and the number of individuals belonging to a certain interval. Okay. Hmm. So from both the expression, we get the formula. An income distribution function that approximates actual income distributions quite well, particularly for large incomes, is Pareto distribution. In this case, the proportion of individuals who at most R dollars is given by FR is equal to beta R par minus beta. So F is a function of R, B is a constant, R power minus beta. R is, so basically we are going to get an exponential functions. Okay. So empirical estimates of beta are usually in the range. So this can be dealt. Okay. So let us look at example number 10.9. In a population with incomes between A and B, suppose the income distribution is given by. So this is your formula for FR Pareto one, which we did. Determine the mean income. So what is the mean income? So mean income was integration A to B R F R dr divided by integration A to B F R dr. That's it. Okay. So first we calculate A to B F R dr. So A to B FRDR. So it is B R power minus 2.5 dr. So B comes out and this is integration. So R power minus 1.5 divided by minus 1.5 integrate from A to B. So when we what are we using over here? We are using the formula x power n dx is x power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Okay, that is here n is minus 2.5 and x is r. So when we put the final limit and the lower limit, so it will come out to be, you can see 2 by 3b. You can verify this. A power minus 1.5 minus b power minus 1.5. Okay. Similarly, when we do A to B R F R D R, so A to B R F R D R, so A to B R into B into R power minus 2.5 dr. So so it is A to B, B comes out, R power 1 and so R power minus 1.5 dr, which is let's integrate. So R power 0.5 divided by 0.5 A to B. So this is going to be, and B was outside, so this is going to be 2B, and then B power uh, minus, yeah. So, hmm. So B power 0.5 minus A power 0.5. Okay. So yes, A to B, and then, okay, yeah, because of this. Okay. So we'll be getting this with the negative sign. All right. Yeah. And now just divide and get the answer.